Welcome to the Performer Radio Show. Each week, we interview some of the most interesting people in the fashion and entertainment industries. Fashion and entertainment industries. Beautiful models, singers, comedians, dancers, fashion designers, actors, beauty queens, and many more. Right here on the Performer Radio Show.
Okay, Brian, welcome back.
Hey, Mike.
You're in the hot seat tonight.
I know. I've never been in the hot seat.
Yeah, move over to the middle of the screen so we can see more of you.
Don't
be hiding.
Honestly, I want to hide behind this.
I know you do.
See what's coming up on the right of us.
Yeah, we're not going to show anybody yet. We want them to wait and just,
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Experience us first.
It doesn't matter if I hide behind this microphone.
You got to see the contrast later on. That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
All right, so tonight it's all about fashion again, and the two least fashionable people on the planet are going to be hosting this show, myself and Brian. Come on, let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't dress up often, but
okay. We're fashionable in our own little realm, but outside of that, no, right? Because we got the nice hats and the matching jacket. See, we match.
Yeah, we match.
That's all about fashion's all about matching, right? So hey, listen, the Boston Fashion Awards coming up on December. Let me get this slide up for you. December 13th, 2020. It is going to be a virtual event this year. But the good part about that is it's going to be free for everybody now.
Absolutely.
Everybody on the planet, not in the planet, in their houses.
Well, we're all in our houses.
That's what I'm saying.
COVID bats come out at 10 o'clock, and they get
had
right
over 3,200 new cases in Massachusetts today. That's kind of sad, we're going to have the virtual event on December 13th. So we have logistically figured it all out so we can have sort of waves of models coming in with designers in and out and all this other stuff. And it's going to be hosted by our good buddy, Jennifer Mariel Ruiz. So let me say this right. Jennifer Mariel Ruiz. There we go. Got to roll the R's.
Roll off your tongue.
Got to roll the R's. And of course, Jennifer now, she was with us for a long time and she's sort of with us still, but she's hosting a show on Univision. Yeah. So she can't be here all the time anymore, and that's why you're sitting there and she's not. But she's with us in spirit all the time. But she will be there that night and hosting the show and announcing the awards, and it will be live. And hopefully we can get the winners to call in and talk to us after they know that they've won, and that'll be kind of fun too. And we have some good performers. We have Devin Ferreira coming in. He plays saxophone. He's an Emmy award-winning musician. And this is something that we couldn't do before. Lamont Price, comedian, coming in to do a set for us. Lamont. So we can laugh a little
Hilarious.
bit. I know. Yeah. I mean, that's going to be fun having Lamont here, helping us get over this. I guess you would call it pre-winter blues, but it's sort of like mid-COVID blues, whatever you want to call it.
Or funk. I just call it the funk.
Yeah, it's a funk. We had an okay summer in terms of people being able to go out. But of course, now we get to stay inside for a little. And it's a natural time to stay inside. So hopefully everyone can get
natural. You mean? Are you saying we're a bear?
Yes.
We're bears.
I think it's human nature. When it gets dark and the sun goes down at 4:00 in the afternoon. Yeah. I mean, I have a tendency to want to sleep at that point.
Oh yeah.
I am a night person, but it's no energy at that time, 4:00.
Well, it changes you. I think the seasons definitely have an impact on you. And some people need lamps to stay alive.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm blessed. I'm not worried.
You wouldn't know it if you're sitting in this room, which is bright,
right?
And you go outside. It could be bright like at 3:00.
Yeah.
And then you go outside at 4:00. It's total darkness. But you wouldn't know that because the lights. It's all dark in here because it's closed off. We have insulation and audio.
Well, you know what? We're getting ready for one of the best days of the year for me, Thanksgiving.
Isn't it? It's tomorrow.
Yeah, that's tomorrow. So
are you cooking or is somebody else cooking for you?
I'm cooking this year.
You're cooking
this year because
I had a Friendsgiving event. You had a Friendsgiving event at your house. I went to your Friendsgiving
exactly.
event. And that was great. So Brian gave us a preview of what he's going to be doing tomorrow. Yeah, but that was the week before before Halloween that you did that.
Right.
Because we were having a little tight COVID bubble get-togethers every Saturday at Brian's house.
Barbecue bubbles.
Barbecue bubbles, yes.
You know,
and that was quite fun. I think somebody has their phone on still, the volume over there.
Oh my
I think
goodness.
it's Dina. But that's okay. So coming up, we have two great ladies, Dina and Melissa, and they are previous winners of the Boston Fashion Awards, the 2019 winners. We'll tell you what they won for and why they're here tonight specifically, and get to know them a little better, which is something we don't normally do with the Fashion Awards, with this year being completely different. We invited them in to get their awards and have a chat with them, see how things are going. So we'll be right back with Dina and Melissa. Stay tuned, folks.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Hey guys, today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Give kisses. Give kisses. Look. Give kisses. Give kisses. You heard how loud that was.
I know, I
through that.
heard. It wasn't you.
Yeah.
It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Bacon.
STEM is the discipline of hard numbers, precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to get messy, or just mess it up. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to try. Dare to fail. Dare to keep daring. Dare to learn the difference between organic, sedimentary, and non-foliated metamorphic rock. Get outside, find those rocks. Dare to be homeroom famous, a high school fable. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. And for the love of STEM, dare bigger. Dare to code, dare to invent, dare to explore, dare to STEM. Check out Chic and STEM to get started.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
Okay, we're back, and look at those two lovely ladies over there. That's Melissa on the upper right and in pink, and that's Dina in the lower right in black. And like I said, the contrast between one side to the other, quite apparent tonight,
it
right?
evens things out.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, we were good looking in our day.
Well, no, you know,
What was that, like 50 years ago?
About 50. But we were talking earlier. It's like it's all about the eyes.
Yes.
And about the mess.
Look at Melissa's eyes. Look at those eyes. I love
They're like
those eyes.
perfect. I come in, I'm like, kind of bushy. I look like the guy from like the Time Machine.
Me too. I'm getting there
on Back
myself.
to the Future, you know.
I'm getting there myself. So let's take a look at Melissa. Melissa's a model.
Hi.
Hi, Melissa. How are you doing tonight,
I'm good.
Brian?
How about you?
I'm doing all right. Okay, pretty good. And let's take a look at what Melissa looks like without the mask. Oh, that's not the right one.
That's not Melissa.
That's not Melissa. Whoa. Okay.
Quite a change.
Well, that's Dina's work. We're going to go back to that in a second. That's my fault. I put them in reverse order. How come I do that? Okay. All right. So here's a couple shots of Melissa here. We can take a look at. And there you go.
Are you wearing the same shoes in that shot?
I am.
Oh, she's wearing what back here?
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I'm observing.
We have to do a show and
shoes
tell.
are like, you know, like for a guy that knows like what looks good. I look at shoes. That's one thing.
Well, see, you guys do know about fashion. That's
Oh, we know about it. I didn't say we didn't know about it. I just said we weren't fashionable looking.
I used to be in retail, and I was a manager for young women's and shoes.
Really?
So like the Ferragamos and you know the Nina.
Yeah, like you said, wouldn't know by looking at it.
Wow.
Wouldn't know.
Do you still have those
connections?
Okay, let's see. This one right here, which we are on right there. That's very. I love the plaid skirt. That's very nice.
Thank you.
Ooh, I love that top.
Thank
That's
you.
hot. I love black and white because of the contrast.
Yeah.
It's good. Always a good contrast. Take a look at this one. This was she was getting her award at last year's Boston Fashion Award 2019. Those were the days, weren't they, Brian? I mean, when we could actually go out and
she was
enjoy
by herself,
ourselves.
and I'm like, she's sitting down, she's talking, and I don't think she knew. And I was like, I go, hey, listen, you did some great work this year, and we had a conversation for like 15 minutes before we sat down. And I mean, you just saw the work there, guys. Come on, really?
Yeah, excellent work.
And that's that's your just coming out.
Oh, it looks like, is that your mom?
Yes, it
is. Elise? Good for you, Mom. Keep coming with the comments there.
Good genes.
Yes, absolutely. So, Melissa, how long have you been doing this? You're fairly young.
Yeah.
So how long have you been out there and about?
I've been doing modeling for 2 years now. I've been kind of exploring agencies more and stuff like that. I'm freelance right now. But I've been doing New York Fashion Week. I'm going back in February, and I'm very excited for it. I just got passed with this fall. And I've been just doing editorial shoots around here, doing what I can because of coronavirus. It's been so hard, but next year will definitely pick up, and I'm really looking forward to working with more creatives who are all for pioneering new ideas.
Excellent. And of course, there's another creative down there, which we'll be talking to her in a little bit. And unfortunately, I let the cat out of the bag, showing a couple of her shots already. What can I do? It's the day before Thanksgiving. All I'm thinking about is stuffing. So when you decided to get into this, did you have anybody giving you some pointers, Melissa? Or was it just, I'm going to go out there and see what I can do and learn as I go? How did you go about starting your career?
Well, I wasn't even planning on becoming a model at first. It definitely started when I went prom dress shopping at the Ultimate Women's Apparel, and I started to do in-store modeling for them. So they gave me pointers on how to take pictures, pose with gowns, and more stuff like that. And then as I started exploring it more and meeting more people, it's something I decided I really like doing. It's a great form of expression. I love taking on a role in editorial, runway. I love just presenting and help showcasing people's work. So I kind of went with that, and I've been just kind of meeting people, networking, getting to know as many people as I can, and just seeing where one thing goes to another. And it's just been picking up. I've been working pretty much by myself, though. I've been kind of forging my own path.
So you've been doing all this as an independent model.
Mm-hmm. I have.
Some people, it's just like the record industry now. A lot of artists want to do it on their own rather than being associated with a major label because they have a little bit more freedom to do what they want, and that gives them more creative ability, more creative input. So in other words, if you have an agency, do you think that might slow you down a little bit, or do you think it would still help you?
No, I think it would actually help me.
Okay.
It's just something I'm so new to it. I just haven't gotten a chance to look into. But I think it'll definitely help me because it'll help me meet more people and explore more ideas, especially with more designers and more visions. It helps my portfolio grow as much as it helps theirs, and that's what I really like about it.
So I guess you impressed a lot of people then last year. That's how that happened.
I'm hoping, yeah.
Yeah, well, obviously.
I can keep impressing more people.
Right. Well, obviously. And you actually did a lot of runway shows too, right?
Yes.
Before COVID, of course, because that obviously changed this year. Do you miss runway, or what do you prefer, runway or doing print work?
I love both runway and print. This year, I've definitely been doing a mixture of both. I've been lucky enough to have the opportunity to do virtual shows in New York for designers like Anthony Rubio and Malcolm Staples and a lot of other New York designers. But as for Boston, I've been working a lot with Joe Maleka and Isabel Lopez. They've been definitely helping me get a platform here. Their shows were always so much fun, and I always prefer working with them because I love it. I loved the Western look Isabel had last year. Let me take on my own role in the runway and have a great moment. It was wonderful. So it's definitely something I like doing both. I like changing things up. I like doing things unique and different. So whatever comes is it's fun, all fun for me.
Well, I think it also is because you're a little aggressive too. You're not lying back and being oh, it's COVID. Well, I'm not going to try this, or I'm not going to go down to New York, or I'm not going to reach out there. I think that says something. Not just saying, hey, COVID's impacted, I'm not going to get anywhere. where, you know, you're going to be there, you're going to make yourself, you know, be present at that moment. You know, that's the people that make it. Like, you have all these skills, you have a look. You know, you have a good photographer. You have designers. You paired yourself with wonderful designers, and then when you bring your force to it, your energy, all those things meet up at once.
Thank you. Yeah,
and that's where that creative process explodes, and it works for everyone, for the designer, for the photographer, for the model, and I think in this environment you've got to be more aggressive.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, even though technology makes it easier. And that's the reason why musicians do a lot more on their own and models do more, because technology has changed everything. I mean, Mike, look at it now. Look at the platform. You communicate all over the world.
What technology are you talking about? I don't know anything about technology.
Right now, you literally can share this, and people from all over the world can see it and see you. So it's putting yourself in the right light, aligning yourself with the right designers, and even the right photographers. So not overshooting, but strategically shooting and working with the right people. Make all the difference. You know.
I was going to say, how did you get the gigs in New York? How did that work for you?
I've been applying to like a lot of castings out there. I've been reaching out to designers personally. I definitely don't want to be stagnant in this time. This is not the time to waste. This is not the time to let the world get a better of me. It's like time for me to step up and, you know, we never know how many years we have to do all the things we like to do. So it's just, it's always super important to me that I'm always trying my hardest to get where I want to be. So
there's a good lesson for people that are in this industry.
It's
You're
a
hustling.
window.
You're hustling.
It's a window. It's a small window.
And people like myself and others that are in the industry that do hires or, you know, get involved with models, we look for the hustle. We look for people. How are they trying to promote themselves? How are they networking? What are they doing to get known and get noticed? And that's very important in this industry, because a lot of models, once they get signed with the agency, they just sit back and say, I'm signed now. What am I? Let them do the work. No, you still got to go out there and hustle, because the best way to get jobs is to be seen all the time. Hey, I saw this young lady in this ad, or I saw this young lady in that show. I guess they're signed to you. Let's hook up something. Right. You know, that's how you, if you're out there, you notice people hear your name, see your social media or whatever else you're out there with, your website, and then they see you and they say, okay, they're signed. Let me go to the agency and get them.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very important. So the more you do,
well, the
better
agency
off you
sees you and says,
the agency could see you too. Yeah, well,
you know what I'm saying? It works both ways.
I think she's ready. I mean, I'm seriously.
She's ready.
From what I've seen, I would say if there is some downtime in the near future, go start shopping yourself at some agencies, and I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, hopefully. Thank you so much.
I don't. There's no hopefully. You'll be signed. It's really not that much of an issue. I already know.
So a lot of people are not. I mean, tonight they're probably at Star Market fighting over a turkey or something like that. But like tomorrow, when everybody's sitting at home and they got nothing to watch, you go ahead and you reshare this, and 100 people see it. Out of those 100 people, one person works for an agency, and next thing you know it, a serendipitous effect happens.
Yeah, we knew the numbers would be a little low tonight, but that's okay.
Yeah.
They, like you said, Brian, they'll see it later on.
They'll see it later on.
When they're sitting in line at Black Friday at Best Buy, waiting to buy a TV.
Did you really have to bring that up? Did you really?
Yes, I did. Okay, so one more. The next, I forgot. I lost my train of thought. Thanks, Brian.
Yeah. Well, because anything electronics.
It's all your fault.
Yeah, we're not gadget guys. No.
Do you prefer being in front of the camera? We did talk about this briefly, but do you prefer being in front of the camera or in front of a live audience?
Well, I've got the opportunity to do both. So I definitely like the comfort of being in front of the camera, because like virtual shows, we've actually had like multiple chances to, you know, fix it, make sure everything looks right. Definitely something I haven't been able to do before, but a live audience, like just the rush in front of all the people doing the runway,
the energy.
It's great energy that you can't replicate. So
you feed off that energy. That's
yeah,
good.
Definitely.
Does that make you, well, some designers prefer their models to be complete mannequins. Just walk out, do your thing, because it's all about the designs, not the model. But I can tell, that's one. I can tell that you don't have that, you have that personality where you like to show off your personality in your walk. If you have to be sort of like a basic monotone stick figure on the runway, do you still kind of like maybe with a hair flip or something, do you still kind of put your personality in there somehow?
I would say you know, I've definitely done a lot of more classic runways, where it's just trying to showcase the design, but I definitely focus on the pose at the end and just making sure like the camera gets what the designer's looking for. Like I try my hardest to make myself memorable at the end of the runway, where it was like, okay, like even though like everybody was supposed to just show off like just the design and not really be there, like it was like I want to make sure it stuck with you. I want to make sure you remember the designer's work and you remember my walk.
Excellent.
And you know what? She lives it too.
Right, I saw
we
that.
saw the show.
Well, you look at her social media, you can see it. Right?
Yeah,
exactly.
you can see it, and it transcends. And the people in the pit know that too. Because the thing that kills me the most is when they're at a fashion show and the model comes out and walks and bang, doesn't stop for a pose. And
it depends on the designer. Sometimes the designers actually tell them not to stop.
Yeah, but it's just if you don't get the shot,
right? I know, but that just means we have to be extra. We have to know when they're going to be right at that right moment.
Well, there's a piece of tape on the end of the runway that tells
Dina, do you do any shows yourself,
spot.
or just still?
I have done some in the past.
Okay, so we'll talk
I know
about
what he's talking about.
Yeah, okay,
it's hard to catch it.
Yeah, trying to catch it.
Yeah, it's like it's
tough. It's tough.
Hair and makeup 1 hour, dressing. You know what I'm saying? Another hour. Practicing the walk. You know, and then you go out there, and for that 1 second, you don't give the look.
That's up to the
you
designers.
Don't give the shot?
It's up to the designers or whoever's styling the show.
I don't know.
So that is an issue for people that are in the media, yes. Because if you're doing video, obviously you'll get it. But if you're doing stills,
because you're shooting 60 frames a second.
Yeah, sure. Then you'll
get it in 4K. I can blow it up and take designs. But as a photographer, you have that split second, and you know that your lighting's got to be right, your triangle's got to be right. You know, and you miss that 1 second. It's just like.
Yeah, well,
you know,
that's like I said. I don't think the models are necessarily doing that. There might be a few, but sometimes if it's like that for the whole show, it was the designer that requests that. Because I've ran into that a couple of times. What I always tell them is stop in the center.
Yeah.
Look to the right. Look to the left. Go back to center. Then turn around. Okay, so that everybody in the press pit can get a good view of you. Just enough so you got to be somewhat quick if you're in the press pit. But if you know the models are all doing that, you'll be ready for it. And that's a better way of doing it. So some of the designers that she mentioned from Boston, Joe Maleka and Isabel Lopez, will be showing at this year's Boston Fashion Awards. Okay, so we're looking forward to that and seeing what they've been doing. Isabel's actually been in Miami a lot, so a lot of her designs now have a Miami influence.
This is Isabel's design
That's
right here.
There you go. Well, she was just telling you to hide in the bushes, Brian.
I love her.
The camouflage there. So that's going to be coming up again on December 13th live. So people should tune in for that. Maybe Isabel can have you back, Melissa.
I don't so. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe that might be kind of cool.
Yes.
We can talk after the show.
My vote.
Yep. Yes. Okay. Well, it's my vote too.
So every vote counts.
It's got to be Melissa's vote. So we'll see. We'll talk about that afterwards. So let's transition from modeling to photography. And Dina, thank you very much for coming down tonight.
Thank you.
Both your hair. You get that nice straight look, and I love the curly look too. So on Melissa. So I love both the hairstyles tonight. That's just me because. I don't get to.
What are you talking about?
You
see two beautiful women, and it's just like now the whole conversation goes sideways.
I'm enjoying the lovely ladies, their hair. Okay, so I'm just complimenting them.
This is not how it usually looks. It's usually in the COVID state of.
Oh, okay.
Bun.
Well, thank you for dressing up for us tonight. I apprient it.
Well, I totally underplayed it too. When she came in, I'm like to mom. I'm like, yeah. She takes photos sometimes.
Sometimes.
And then she whips out the magazine, and the mom's like, oh my god.
Yes. I
don't think she does this on the weekends.
Let's go back to what I let the cat out of the bag earlier. So let's take a look at some of these now. The makeup there is, first of all, amazing. Who did the makeup on that?
This was from our recent shoot with Olga, and the makeup was done by Becca. And I forget, I'm horrible with last names, but she's tagged everywhere on my Instagram and Facebook.
Excellent.
So you can definitely follow the whole team that was involved.
I think this next one is still variation from the same shoot.
Yes.
I love this.
Okay.
I know. That's a spiral staircase. So how the heck did you get this shot? Okay.
I think I was telling Brian earlier that this was the last shot of a 16-hour day that we had of a photo shoot with a bunch of makeup and hair changes. But I was pretty much hanging on top of the staircase somewhere from what I remember. But I had my light set up on the bottom.
I was going to say you have one down below and you have one above, or is that ambient?
It was
is
just
that ambient light above?
No, there's some ambient light
Right.
and some of my flashlights involved in this one. So at this point, honestly, it was a blur. Like I said, it was the last.
Yeah, you
shot
just
I
wanted to
took.
get out of there.
No, I didn't. I didn't want to
The
stop.
light is perfect.
You didn't want to stop?
Everything
Okay.
was perfect,
God bless
but
you.
it was just, it was time to get that shot. So,
Okay, so let's take a look at this one. Oh, I like this one. The concept.
Thank you.
A little. Is that like a? So you got a little bokeh going on there. Is that just a basic office building background there with fluorescence?
This is actually a few years old. This was on the streets in Boston before we had to wear masks in public, and this is off Tremont Street somewhere in downtown Crossing. And
Look at her eyes. Did you style those contacts?
So
or did you
Noelle
do that in post?
McKinnon, there's some post, but I had an
some post.
amazing makeup artist to work with. I think it's so important to have the best team when you do these shoots, and I always try to have the best people in the area that make my work what it is. So.
Okay, that's good. All right, this one was my favorite, and of course I showed a little bit of it earlier. Love this.
Oh, thank you.
This is very, very stylish. Okay, so I know you've got a strobe underneath, a white strobe underneath, and you got maybe one or two blue strobes there.
Yeah.
Let's see. You got one in the back. Well, that one that's up there, you actually can see it going through the window and hitting that.
So believe it or not, it's one light, that blue strobe in the back,
and one white,
and then the natural light coming through that window.
Oh, that's sun.
That's actually a natural light through the.
It looks like it was shot at night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would have
this
assumed.
is a basement dungeon. It's an old boiler room.
Oh, yes,
that's
what I said. Yeah,
now
the thing in the back.
non-existent. Yeah.
It looks like Freddy Krueger's basement.
Fantastic.
I don't know. I love unique spaces.
And I get the models were fantastic. That pose is killer right there.
Thank you.
That's a killer pose.
Heather was great. And,
awesome stuff. Seriously.
Thank you.
And there's a lot more on her social media, which we're going to give later on. And then maybe you can show your book you have there too a little bit.
Oh, I brought a couple of magazines.
You brought a couple of magazines. Thank you. We like magazines here. The old school hold it in your hand magazines.
Yep.
Actually, speaking of which, I'm going to show that. I'm going to actually quickly put that up. Really sorry about this, folks.
He's just running around doing stuff in the background.
I just wanted to show my pose.
They're not looking at us. They're looking at them.
This is last year's Beantown Beauties calendar. I just want to show everyone that Melissa was there, and she was Miss March. Okay,
she rocked it.
Okay, I hate to say it, Melissa, but that's the month that started all this.
Yeah.
I was like, it's all Melissa's fault. That's we're going to blame Melissa.
I'm
Look
the
what
curse
you've
of
done
March.
to me.
The curse of March, right there.
Done to me.
You had that beautiful red hair and that green outfit. So I know you're not Irish, are you? No, you're not.
No,
and I didn't think
Cuban
so.
and French.
Okay, there you go. Cuban. Oh, that's great. But it kind of matched the Irish kind
French
of
Canadian or French?
French Canadian, yeah, but I'm part of where I'm from is like a French speaking province in Nova Scotia.
Well,
like,
okay.
Yeah,
That's my family's
called
from
Clare.
there too.
It's like very, very tiny, but like they speak French in that
no, I
one
know.
And
tiny little
where are you
part.
from, Dina? Where's your?
She has an accent. I heard a little bit of an accent.
Yeah,
I do, yes. So the easy answer is I say I'm from Russia, but I was actually born in Azerbaijan, which is now its own country, but it used to be part of the Soviet Union back in the day.
Yeah.
So that's where I was
Behind
born.
the Iron Curtain. Yeah.
Behind the Iron Curtain. We should be behind curtains.
We should be
Brian.
saying Dobre Dien, right? Or Dobre Venice.
Look at that. Olga says,
yes.
awesome work, Dina. And Elise says, amazing shot. Good. Priya, nice to see you, too. I'm going to say nice to see you, even though it's good to see Brian, too, I suppose. But, okay. I'm just trying to stick my nose in there. Okay, getting back to this now. Getting back to all the lovely ladies. So how long have you been taking pictures, Dina? Sorry.
Sure, yes. Professionally for a little over 20 years now.
20 years.
Yeah,
wow.
so,
not
I always
bad.
say I started when I was 5.
So, okay, so...
wait, so you started,
so
you
you-
must have started in Russia then, and then you immigrated to the United States?
That was a joke, no.
Okay.
I actually graduated Mass College of Art
Now
here in
we're
the
talking.
United States.
There you go. Great school.
Yes.
So did you come in with your parents, or?
I did, yeah. I came here as a child
Okay.
almost 30 years ago.
30 years. Okay, so you've been around for a while.
I've been around, yeah.
Do you remember much about being there, or?
Of course.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when did you start getting the bug then for photography?
I think it was in high school. pretty soon after we moved to the States. I always say, I think that's the reason I took up photography is because I had zero English back then. And so when I went into that dark room, I found a way to communicate through pictures and find like-minded weird people because I didn't really fit in.
It wasn't the chemicals
I mean,
that smell in that room?
It's probably a mix of both.
She's old school like me.
Yeah.
Stop bath, all that
the
stuff.
whole
Oh
9
my!
yards,
Yeah, the stop bath was the worst smelling one.
It was.
Oh God, that stuff. And you got to be careful. That's you have acid and all kinds of great stuff to play around with. So you got to be very, very careful. Those I don't miss those days.
So you were playing with acid in the 70s? Is that where?
Brian's trying to be funny.
What? I'm just throwing it out there.
Making contact sheets. Do you remember that, Dina?
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
old school.
I was very happy when back in the late 90s when digital photography started happening. And then of course the biggest transition to digital photography was in the mid 2000s, I would say.
Yeah, well that's when the technology caught up.
Right, exactly.
1.2 megapixels over is 200 millions of information on a solid, film
it's getting
camera.
a lot of control now, isn't it? I mean, in terms of the
what technology do you shoot?
Well, I mean,
I want to know what she shoots.
What do you shoot
Sure,
with?
I shoot with Nikons, and I have a few different.
Oh, she's a Nikon girl.
Ooh, Nikon.
That's okay.
That's like the left hand.
That's almost like a dirty word in this place.
The barrel's different.
No, I'm just kidding.
The lens is barrel to the left, and the other one the camera.
No, Nikon's a great camera. Don't get me wrong. It's a great camera.
I think it's not the equipment or the size of the
Sure,
equipment.
well, yeah.
Right?
Whoa,
You use it, that matters.
You have the D850 though, right? I mean, you have
what do you have?
I have the 810.
Oh, the 8. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I have the 810.
Well, she's right. I mean, if you take let's say we'll take an impresario, like a violin player, like what's her name there, Siobhan.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, and if you give her a cheap violin, she can make that cheap violin still sound amazing.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you take a person that doesn't know how to play violin and you give them a Stradivarius, it's going to sound like crap.
But however,
all right? So very good, Dina, for pointing out that the talent, the tools are helpful.
Tools are very important.
But your talent is even more important than the tool.
Well, you can't buy talent.
That's my point.
I tell people all the time, they go, I'm going to save some money on the show. I'm not going to hire a photographer for my wedding. I'm going to get my friend and I'm going to buy a camera. Go for it. You want to see what you're going to get, go for it, But you're right. The talent, you can't walk into Best Buy and buy. You can't say, look, I want that 42 megapixel camera and go out and shoot models the next day and have perfect images like Dina's.
We know people that are asking us all the time, what camera gear should I buy? And we can give them recommendations. And usually what I say is start with something small and inexpensive and make sure this is what you want to do and learn from that first.
Exactly.
And then build up.
Well,
There's no sense in spending.
She said she hung out with the nerds. I mean, that's
there you go.
That's my crew right there. I'm
it's
like,
our crew too.
Yeah, I mean, and got into cameras. What was the first camera you shot with, and when did you make the transition from film to digital?
My very first camera is Pentax K1000.
Ooh,
Does that ring a bell?
That's a good film camera.
Yes, so that was my very, very first camera that my dad bought me. And then from then, when I went to college and in mass art, I was actually shooting with a 4x5. So it was a really
medium
big
format.
4x5 format.
Yeah.
So it was a Sinar camera.
Hasselblad?
No. It was actually, one of those old ones where you have to get in under the covers.
No one sees the wizard.
But yeah,
those must have been a pain in the butt to develop.
But you know what it taught me is to really pay attention to each shot in the frame, because it's very different from digital world nowadays, where you can have unlimited clicks per second and maybe you get one decent shot. But with a 4x5, every piece of film is expensive.
You had to make it count.
And so you have to make it count. You have to be perfect. You have to, measure it and the lighting and the angles and everything before you even click that button. So that was a good old school for me, at least. I don't know.
That's cool.
Yeah, so
Pete says he had a Pentax. I had a Ricoh. That was my very first camera, was a Ricoh film camera. It was all manual. It only went up to 1/500th of a second, but that's how I learned. I learned all the basics, and a full manual camera is the best way to learn, because it's all about you. There's no buttons to press that are going to take care of the business for you.
Right.
So you have to learn all the basics of photography, the rule of thirds, exposure, bokeh, all this, depth of field, and that's something that a lot of people are missing now. That these others that what they want a fully automatic.
Right.
And I was like, well, you're taking all the fun out of it, of learning how photography actually
Well,
works.
fun or spoiled, whatever way you look at it, or
And yeah, people should just experiment a little. Go out and find your own style.
Yes.
Okay, does this work for you? Does that work for you? Because if you're just copying somebody else, you're not really doing yourself any favors. It's not creative when you're copying somebody else.
I think it's good to learn
Yeah,
when
good
you
to
copy.
learn.
You know,
Well,
if you
what I'm
wanna-
saying is you can learn how they do something,
Sure.
but put your own spin on it.
Right.
Okay, make it your own if possible. And you might find something that sets you apart that's very unique that maybe no one else has discovered. Just like music, when people go write music, write your own song. Don't copy somebody else's. All right, that's how you.
Well, that all comes to making money though too, because I mean, a lot of people they have to play those songs because that's what people want to hear. So it's a tough balance.
Style,
you
a
know?
vibe or a style is
Yeah.
different than copying something.
It's like they try to get their
specifically.
music.
We rent the photography, before COVID, we rent the photography studio to other photographers. And a lot of them come in and says, I want to do it exactly like this. Well, yeah, you can, but you're just going to be exactly like somebody else's work. Why don't you try and put your own spin on it and make it your work instead? That's just my take on it. If you want to copy somebody else, that's fine. Do what you want. But just know you're going to be
form of flattery, and you can do that. But other people will misinterpret
yeah,
it too.
but
being
I
a
don't
novice,
think people are trying to hire photographers just because they're copying somebody else. They want
Yeah.
something unique. That's just my opinion.
I'd
And
like
Dina,
to
you
think
have some
that.
beautiful, you have some
love
beautiful
stuff.
work, and
Thank
I mean, you
you.
like 20 years. That's I'm sure it took every step of the way. We're still learning.
Absolutely.
When new technology comes out, we have to learn it. New techniques for editing.
Yep.
God knows Photoshop updates their software every
God
2 years.
bless them.
I
two
think the
years or so.
subscriptions are going to go away, though. I mean, there's no
I hope
way
so.
they
I hate
continue to do this.
subscriptions.
I mean,
I hate subscription services.
even when it's on sale, it's $89 or something like that, or $100.
That's the way.
you know?
That's the way they can make more money.
Exactly.
They're basically forcing upgrades on you, okay, by building it into the price.
Yeah, because how long did you use CS5? I mean, you use CS5.
CS6.
for
I use CS6.
Yeah, whatever.
CS6
What do
forever.
you use? What do you use for editing tools? I mean, do you use the Apple? Are you in the Apple world, or are you in the Windows?
Really regular computer, that's pretty
Yeah.
powerful, but I'm not an Apple girl. I think
You're a PC girl.
I'm a
then.
very PC Galaxy.
Uh-huh.
Sorry
Oh, you're
to
very
my kids.
PC,
So you just came back into our good side. Okay, that's good.
Well, it looks like the photos weren't PC. I mean, you do a little risky stuff. I mean, where's the line?
I do like the risky
Yeah,
stuff. Where's the line?
Yeah, where's the line?
I don't think I crossed it yet. I mean,
No,
I
no,
don't
not
wanna-
that stuff. No, that stuff is awesome. It's easy to see why you.
No,
why you-
but isn't fashion like right on that line sometimes? Like when you look at it and the design. I mean, it's a very
I didn't see any. I thought everything
expressive
looked very
art.
nice.
I think it really depends on the assignment and the pieces that you're trying to show, and some of them are obviously more dramatic than others, which will allow you to be more dramatic in lighting and post-production and how you approach the whole photo shoot to begin with, from makeup to hair to the whole 9 yards. And then, there's an assignment that has to be quieter and more elegant, and you think about how to make that still interesting as well. So I think it really depends on what you want to accomplish.
Right. What about, we have a model here right now. I mean,
Yeah.
like, what if we were on a shoot and it was very risky attire? Like, I mean, if it was very see-through, translucent,
Risque,
or whatever.
risque, yeah.
Risque.
Risky
and,
sounds like something like you're standing over an edge.
Risky business.
Risky
No.
business.
No, but like
Underwear.
well, how would you feel? I mean, have you ever been awkward with a photographer, and then like, if something was sheer, would you say, I'm not really gonna wear that, or I mean,
I usually work with people like I'm very comfortable with, and people like I would never feel like I'd have to worry about a situation like that. So
Right.
I'd usually just I'd move at my own discretion, but I also don't want to mess with the fluidity of the shot. I understand that there's a lot that goes into post-production, so I would most likely just let whatever happens.
so you're
happen.
comfortable. You're
Yes.
comfortable with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're more about.
I think most models
getting the
know
point
what's
across.
going to be shot going in if it's a professional shoot.
Obviously, and it
Yeah.
has to do with what the designer's looking for. I would never do
Right.
anything that's not in good taste.
Right,
For
good.
sure.
Good
Like,
for
it's
you.
very classy. Like, you can still be risque and still do classy.
Right,
and
exactly.
It can
It
go
depends-
hand in hand. But
the
I would
context-
never
the context
cross
of the
line,
shots.
because it just doesn't look good. It's not what
Because
anybody's looking for.
there's some Karen Jerzik. Do you know her, Dina? Karen Jerzik, photographer. I'll show you stuff. I'll show
She
you
works
stuff.
a lot with Ashley Rose, right?
Ashley
Okay,
Rose
yes,
Couture.
I do know Ashley
okay.
Rose.
Okay, so Karen's shots are very avant-garde.
Mm-hmm.
They're dark. Some of them have some nudity in them. Dark, yeah. Well, she's a dark photographer. Dark themed. Let's just say that. And but in the context of the images that she shoots and edits, you can tell that it works for that.
Right.
It's not sensationalistic.
Yeah.
It's there to elicit different types of emotions, not sensual emotions.
Yes.
And that's so in that particular case, I love that stuff. It's very artistic looking.
Well, it plays between two worlds. Like you look at it and it's like, is it a seductive photo? Is it not? It's kind of creepy, you know. Like,
Yeah.
Well, no, I think she was going for creepy.
right,
That's the whole
exactly. But
point.
it has like 3 different levels to it. You know, it's
I don't think at any point in time any reasonable person is not thinking sensuality when they see her work. When it
Right,
does
right.
have a little bit of nudity in it.
Right.
I don't think the sensuality part even creeps in.
but it's
at
just
all.
that play. Like she's right on that line. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like,
I wouldn't say she's on the line. I mean, she's pushing boundaries, but in a good way. It's not in a way where she's trying to tell Instagram take it down immediately. No,
Yeah.
I don't know if any of her stuff has been ever taken down. Maybe from some haters, but
right.
But no,
you're
her
always
stuff-
going to have haters.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
just, especially when you're on top, you're going to have haters. There's no doubt
Exactly.
about
I
it.
mean, it's part of the business.
But Dina, what was your most interesting shoot, or where would you like to shoot in the future?
Oh God, that's a loaded question. I think
I'm going to have those questions.
yes. Anywhere but here, no. Let me travel
Wow,
the world.
okay.
No.
No, just kidding.
In a good way.
I know what you
I'm ready to get out.
You're getting tired of the setting, right? Exactly.
I like new spaces and places. I like places that have history and texture and a story to tell. You know, and obviously I would love to go to Europe or overseas or anywhere where I can find places that will be interesting, and you know, something that's different, something that will spice things up, because as artists I think that's important to really always try to get some new blood in your work,
Yeah, absolutely.
not to stay stale. And so I think even with my work here, as much as possible I try to challenge myself in different situations, and that's why I like finding unique spaces or try different lighting or colors or dark mood, something that's not your regular or typical. Here I am sitting looking
You like
at the
different.
picture,
You like
you know.
different.
I love it.
I do like different. I do
Angela
like
says, "Great
different."
job, Dina." So that's pretty cool. So, Melissa, same question to you. You've been to New York. You've been to Boston. Any place you'd love to go and shoot? Anything specific?
So I recently also went to LA, and I had like really fun shooting the architecture there. Working off of it, it was like really fun time. So I definitely want to go like to the West Coast again, but maybe more so like the naturey parts, like just maybe
Middle
up
of the
in
state.
North.
Yeah, up
yeah,
north.
just like all of PCH. just
Either
go
that
up
or
and down.
yeah, up
It'd
the
be really
PCH up to
fun. Yeah.
Sacramento and that area.
I've driven that in a convertible many times.
Monterey.
Oh my God,
Monterey is
that's
a
so fun.
gorgeous city on the way up on the PCH.
It is.
How about like Palm Springs and the desert area too?
Yeah, like something like that. Like I want to do some things I never seen before. I love to travel.
Just stay away from there in the summertime. Trust me.
Why are you saying it's hot?
Brutal. It's brutal.
Well, not many people know about that, but you're hitting on California not as a typical urban environment because you come from a big city or a big small city, but you have some of the best national parks in the world in California.
Yeah.
You know, from Redwood Forest, you know what I'm saying, to Joshua Tree, and these are all places I've been to, you know what I'm saying, and just, like you said, like Dina, you would love it.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you know,
probably.
trees that are 150 years old when they're young. You know,
Nice.
these are 1,000 years old
My favorite
trees
place
and-
out west is
Oh,
Sedona,
beautiful.
Arizona. I love Sedona,
Yeah,
Arizona.
Sedona.
Absolutely gorgeous.
I'm going to Portugal next July too, so I'm excited
Oh,
about
there you
that.
go.
Yeah.
Portugal.
Beautiful.
There you go. All right, we got to take a break here, and when we come back, a lot more fun with Dina and Melissa. We'll be right back.
We know that we're asking Americans to do a lot right now. So we're asking everyone to be selfless for others so that we can protect those who are most susceptible to this virus.
A question I often get asked is why should young people care about the spread of coronavirus? Well, we know that people with underlying medical conditions over the age of 60 are at highest risk, but they've got to get it from somebody.
Social distancing is really physical separation of people
It's what we refer to when we ask people to stay at least 6 feet apart.
Not going to bars, not going to restaurants, not going to theaters where there are a lot of people. It all just means physical separation so that you have a space between you and others who might actually be infected or infect you.
We all have a role to play in preventing person-to-person spread of this disease, which can be deadly for vulnerable groups. For more information on how you can social distance, please go to coronavirus.gov.
Awkward. Do I look familiar? I should. You might remember me from here. Here. Or maybe even here.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
It can actually be a perfect moment to reach out to a friend and ask if they're okay if they seem down.
It doesn't matter how you say it.
You all right?
Everything's okay?
Oh, gee. You all right, girl? You cool?
You bugging dog.
Just show you're there for them.
Go on, Kelly. Susie Awkward.
Hey, you haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Okay, we're back. Actually, we're not allowed to play that commercial anymore. No, it's serious. They had it in rotation, and then they took it out because the song became popular. So we're not allowed to play that commercial anymore. I didn't know that. I forgot we couldn't play that.
He's like, whoopsie daisy.
Whoopsie daisy. Yeah, it's a licensing thing. But actually, that was from the Ad Council, which is kind of weird. So the Ad Council is a PSA organization, so all that stuff is non-commercial.
Isn't it weird how like songs become famous?
Like
that TikTok song?
We've had stuff like that happen before.
Yeah.
So we don't need any drama with Facebook.
Well, when we had
YouTube,
Bermudez on the show, right?
Yeah, right. With Joe Bermudez, his own songs we couldn't play.
Right, like Joe's funny. Right there.
He's sitting right in the studio. We had the same thing happen with Louis Bello.
Yeah.
Louis, the copyright situations right there. All right, so we're back with the ladies, and we got some hardware there for you. Why don't you? Let's see. Let's go to Melissa first. So Melissa, let's see. Oh, look at that!
I'm so excited.
So, yep. Who just dropped something?
All right. Nobody.
Nobody. Okay. All right. Here we go.
No.
All right. So, Melissa, why don't you really get that into the camera? There we go. Oh, good. There you go. Female runway model. So, congratulations. That's from 2019. And then we got Dina. Why don't you show them yours? There you go.
Super excited.
There you go. Dina, for photographer for 2019. Ladies, that was very much deserved. Thank you for waiting.
Thank you so much for the honor.
We give these out much sooner than this normally. But once March came and everything closed down, we were originally going to be doing Swim Boston in end of June. And that was one of the places where we wanted to give most of the awards out to everybody. And we were hoping that everything was going to blow over and we were still going to have the event, but it just got worse. So we just said, okay, we're going to have to cancel the event. And then, of course, nothing could happen after that.
Well,
we're still waiting. We're still waiting, right?
Right.
So that's why we're having a virtual fashion awards this year. And speaking of that, so Brian, we're up now. All right.
We are.
We're up. We're going to be announcing the this year's fashion awards. Let me bring my mic in a little bit closer. So I'll start with the female print model, okay, and then you can go to the female runway model. So starting with female print model, first in line we have Andrea Cadigan from Maggie Inc., Camille Kostek with One Management and Elite Miami, Kayla Marie Vasquez, she's an independent, and Marissa Ahola from Maggie Inc. Why don't you do the runway?
You want me to do the female runway model?
Yeah.
So Gosia, which you actually just saw from Dina's shot.
Right.
She's an independent. Jan Conaway Caston, Melissa Mendez, and Olivia Pagano.
Yeah, I think we know this Melissa chick, right? I think we know who she is.
Before.
So congratulations again.
I'm excited.
Yeah, congratulations again, Melissa. All right, cool.
Maybe we'll get a two-peat.
Yeah, two-peat, right. All right, so designer for couture and formal, We got Candice Wu from Candice Wu Couture.
Nice.
Daniel Fauscher from Daniel Fauscher Couture. Firas Yusuf from Firas Yusuf Originals. And Isabel Lopez from Isabel Original International. You go designer.
All right, the
Evening.
designer, Evening Club.
And eclectic.
Eclectic, right? Denise Ajar, Jacqueline Robichaud Doyle, with Jack Attack, Joe Maleka, Joe Maleka, and then Yaniri Burgos.
Yaniri, Burgos,
Burgos.
Okay, that's about right. If we butcher the names, we apologize, folks. We're not literate, pretty much.
We mean not literate.
We're not literate. Okay, designer for casual and sportswear. We got Allison Doray from Paradise. Nazo Zadi from Vava Designs. Kelly Dempsey from Rack Attic. And Marvell from The Lucky Ones.
And then designer swimwear, Ashley Alexis
Smith.
Yep, Smith.
From Alexis Swimwear. That's about popular
Daniela
brand.
Corte, Kelly Brabants.
Yep.
Molly Curley or Molly J Swimwear.
Yeah, she's Molly J Swimwear. And Kelly Brabants is her line is BBB Swim, but she also has the line for the yoga pants and stuff like that.
There's a sign up in Boston for graphic.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
All right, so for designer accessories, this is an interesting one because this was a little different this year. David Joseph for David Joseph masks. Usually David Joseph is in another category.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's in the mask. He's doing masks now.
He did
all
masks.
masks.
His hands hurt.
People got to realize it's what you were doing the past year. Okay, so a lot of people did kind of either take a break or they transitioned to do other things. So David himself was, I'm doing masks. I'm trying to save the world.
Mhm.
So God bless him. Him and his partner. Okay, Holly Daniels Christensen, Dune Jewelry. She got some great stuff, right, Brian? We love Holly here. Sophie Hughes from Orr, and Gina DeWolf from DeWolf Leather Goods.
Okay, and
This is
then
the photography department. Let you do this one, Brian.
Andrew Swain Photography. Don Kingston just opened up a few studios in Boston.
Bash Studios.
Bash Studios. Dina, what is that? Konovalov?
Me? Okay.
Konovalov.
Konovalov, if you say
See,
Boston,
there's someone
yeah.
rushing in the room, saving my life right now. And then Harris Davey Jr., Harry Davis Photography.
Yeah. Okay. So retailer. This is a big one now because retailers are taking quite a hit this past year, and we feel really bad for the retailers, the small business retailers. Obviously, not the big box stores. No offense, Brian, but the big fashion retail outlets. They can go bankrupt and whatever. But these little guys, that's their whole life savings in some of their stores. Okay, so retailer Denise Ajar Boston, Johnny Cupcakes, Lit Boutique, and there's a couple of Lit Boutiques, two or three, and Sudi Boutique, 2 locations for Sudi as well. So this is a new one coming up.
Oh, fashion
publication or blog.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so why don't you go with that?
So Dream Rose Lifestyle Magazine, Exhale Lifestyle Magazine, Original Living Magazine, and Scene and Style Magazine.
Yeah, that's Angela, Scene and Style Magazine.
Angela, and Dream Rose, and
well,
all people that are doing stuff.
People that are all doing stuff. Exactly, Brian.
Yeah.
People that are doing stuff. That's the key right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for makeup artists, and this is always a hot one. Every year, this is always a hot one right here. Donna Souza from Donna Souza Makeover Artistry. Heather Schofield from House of Beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Nelsie Carini from Nelsie Carini Makeup Artistry.
Yep.
And Thea Vaporis from Chroma by Thea.
Mm-hmm.
Go for fashion stylist.
And then fashion stylist, Mike. He's like, can you read? So fashion stylist, Fran Colazo, Gustavo Leon, Kathy Ben Harris, and Terry Mann.
From the Stylist Closet. Okay, finally, beauty salon. That could be hair, anything. Boston Nails and Spa, Safar Salon, and Salon Eva Michelle, and The Parlor. The Parlor out in Framingham with Rachel Lindsay Rubin. She has a new... She got married, so I don't know what her name is at this point.
I don't know what her name
I don't know what her name
We
is.
know her work.
I know
and
she
people
got,
know her work.
So we'll call her Rachel Lindsay. She used to have RLR. I don't know if she still has that logo or anything else. So again, folks, the Fashion Awards is going to be on Sunday, December 13th, 2020, and it's going to be right here in the Performer Studios. We're going to be using our TV studio, our radio studio, our step and repeat room, our photo studio. So we're going to have people all over the place. My office, in the hallway. So it's going to be all.
And how the nominees
social
going to see
distancing.
this? How the nominees going to see this? They're going to see this online.
We're going to have this posted probably later tonight on the Fashion Awards Facebook page, and then probably tomorrow or Friday at the latest on the website. And the voting, just so people know, it's again the same as last year. 50% is peer voting, 50% is popular voting. The popular and peer voting starts on Friday, and it runs for 2 weeks online. The peer voting is individuals, they vote once and that's it. And the peer voters are ones that are not nominated, that we have like a list that we go through every year. Have you been nominated? No? Okay, you can get a peer vote. And it's people that are in the industry. So you have half the vote is people judging you from the industry, and the other half is people judging you from the public. So being online, being present, like we were talking about with Melissa earlier, is very important so that you have a following. The following can help you. But it's not a complete all-out popularity contest because the peers have to vote too. So you have to be popular and good, both together, and that's how it
Double
works.
threat.
That's how it works. Yes. Well, I mean, that's what business is. I mean, your peers got to respect you, and the people got to love you.
And how long does it take? I mean, if you're sitting around your turkey coma and you have your slippers on, I mean, this is what
to vote?
To vote.
It takes a few minutes. About maybe it depends. And you can actually you don't have to vote for every category.
Right.
You can breeze through the ones you don't want to do. But if you want to do every single one, it might probably.
Can you click a button?
It takes about five to 7 minutes. 5 to 7 minutes, and I'll tell you something. It does make a big difference in some people's lives and careers. Okay.
Yeah.
The very first year we had it, 2012. Candice Wu won for couture, best designer couture, informal, and everyone was saying as a joke, Candice who? And I said, just wait and see. This lady is amazing, and look at her now, 8 years later, 9 years later. Okay, the phenomenal stuff that she's putting out.
There's a lot of people.
When she does those fashion shoots in France, in Paris, I get a great feeling because she started here in Boston, and for the longest time, winning the Boston Fashion Awards was part of her resume.
Yeah, well,
okay, it opened some doors.
Daniel Hernandez, you know, what I'm saying?
Right, international
Fashion Week, New York, Fashion Week, London, Fashion Week, Las Vegas, Fashion Week, Washington State. I mean, come on. I mean,
a lot of people have moved on to bigger and better, and that's fantastic. You're seeing designs on runways and red carpets all over the country. So that's
all over
amazing.
our country, and then Isabel down in Columbia,
Miami,
Columbia,
all those
here
great
in Boston,
places, right?
You know? I mean, her magazine is,
Original Living, I'm glad we're doing publications now because I think, and publications and blogs, because without these publications and blogs, people wouldn't have anything to strive for.
Right.
You know, getting on the cover of a magazine is still important for models, photographers, and designers in this industry. And it's great that even in this digital age, we have people willing to put in some work to put art out there and let people enjoy it. So that's pretty important, at least for us. You know, and in this particular year, it's even more important because they've been supporting, just like we're doing right now, they've been supporting these people who are working hard and trying to make a living and making a career out of all this. And we're trying to give them as much encouragement as possible. Not everyone can make the list. We understand that. It's just, if we could, we'd give, it's not a participation thing, but we would like everyone to keep doing what they're doing and keep trying. It's very important.
Well, I think it also brought the communities together, too. Even if they weren't nominated, I'd look around the audience and I'd see 12 designers there. Not just the ones that are nominated. So there's people out there.
And a lot of them support each other, which is great.
Yeah.
You know,
for instance, Gustavo.
Right.
You know
Gustavo's always, he's one of the biggest cheerleaders there is out there.
Yeah. I mean,
and he'll be back hosting part of the Fashion Awards, too. Along with our lovely Jennifer. Along with our
Gustavo
lovely Jennifer.
Leon.
So again, folks, don't forget to tune in on December 13th. It'll be live. It'll be free to everybody. Okay, so you have no excuses not to tune in at that point in time, and everyone gets to participate this year only because it was COVID. Okay,
but not everyone gets a trophy.
Yeah. Okay. All right, folks, we are out.
Trophy winners.
I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving, ladies. Thank you for coming down.
Thank you
and
so
again,
much for
have a great Thanksgiving, everybody. We'll be back in a couple weeks with more Boston Fashion Awards winners. Or
We might not look as good, but
yeah, well, we'll see. We'll definitely be a few
2
pounds heavier.
squares. We won tonight. 2 squares.
Good night, everyone. Have a great Thanksgiving. See you later.
Bye.